My mind is so spectacular. Open up your aperture. You don't like the light that I be shining, bitch, you Dracula. Southern draw vernacular. Flip you like a spatula. Knew that I was built to put this world up on my scapula. I've been on this road so long, my tires bald. I don't wanna text and no, I don't wanna call. Came in this shit running, bitch, I don't know how to crawl. We ain't never folding, I'm holding the highest car. Look, okay, grew up running post routes. Now I'm on the cash route. Better call the plumber, that boy spitting like a bass spout. All these bad women in this club, fuck is you mad about? Word to all my estheticians, boy, I'm about to lash out. Straight from St. John's to the east side. Jigging since the knee high. Watch the way I put on for my state, nigga, yeehaw. Respecting no everything. Crazy how I made it to the league from the bleach eyes. Boy, my shit hair wrong. Black, rich, and bare arms. Smoking on that yogi, this shit stronger than some bare arms. Goku, I'm in rare form. You cannot prepare for him. When I swing, it's like a carnival. This shit ain't fair for him. Brought intellect back to this rap shit. You niggas need chapstick. Shit been dropping way too long, and I'm the matchstick. You niggas Nickelodeon me. I'm more like Cap Nick. Cap a nigga, throw him in front of me. Party favors on the table, you can pick and choose. I would be lying if I said it, I don't get confused. I'm just a player in the game and I don't pick the rules. Why trouble always seem to find the ones with shit to lose. About to blow like we just lit the fuse. We double dutch into this dough, I get this shit in twos. Push the button, get it started, put that shit in cruise. A little dust up on his heart, I barely get to use. A fool flatters himself, a wise man flatters a fool. Man, I just came to get it started like mechanics with tools. Cause in my hood, if you don't pack a tool, you planning to lose. These young boys deserve Oscars, they be acting a fool. A couple loose screws, but they hammer accurate. Ooh, I know some niggas stuck on drugs and manufacture it too. School of hard knocks, we all got our bachelor's food. No cap and gowns, but we all had the master. Party favors on the table, you can pick and choose. I would be lying if I said it, I don't get confused. I'm just a player in the game and I don't pick the rules. Why trouble always seem to find the ones with shit to lose. I'm dumb lit, it's about to be a late night. Fresh wax, shawty, show me what it tastes like. Niggas know me in my city like I'm Wayne Wright. Got them looking up to me and we the same height. Ooh, I got it bad, deep in my bag. Foot on the gas, they cannot last. Swimming with the sharks, bitch, that's a great white. Never stopping, we don't even need no brake lights. Say she don't smoke, but she always smoke with me, yeah. Back with Finny, yeah, back up in the ovaries, yeah. All my ops, they stay running like they over easy. Even my masseuse can't just get too close to me, yeah. Shout out to Next. Soon as the ink dry, we count out the checks, yeah. I never flex. I bought up a business, you bought up a section. I'm at the top of my class, yeah. Y'all never learned from your lessons. Skywalker gave me the force, yeah. Turn this into an obsession, yeah. I couldn't wait on the team, cooking shit up with just me run play, yeah. Things never are what they seem, but we know the facts, yeah. Charging that shit to the game, but now I pull up with a battery pack, yeah. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, and we can just leave it at that. I'm dumb lit, it's about to be a late night. Fresh wax, shawty, show me what it tastes like. Niggas know me in my city like I'm Wayne Wright. Got them looking up to me and we the same height. Ooh, I got it bad, deep in my bag. Foot on the gas, they cannot last. Swimming with the sharks, bitch, that's a great white. Never stopping, we don't even need no brake lights. Big bro, why they call you big bro? Every time we hit the bank, we deposit zip codes. Well connected with the streets like we out in Skid Row.
So I would work for the inside out this game because they do not have a big to really deal with Visca Zubac down low. So you're going to have to, start off with that to at least give yourself something. You don't want to fall behind in Boston. You don't want to get down by like 8, 15, 20 points, because if we get down by that many in Boston, we're not coming back. The crowd is too crazy, and then you have a full team that actually plays offense and defense. See, with us, we're a top ranked, we're number 5 in defense. On offense, we are, a middle of the pack team right now, right? So when we face a team like Boston, who's a great offensive and a great defensive team, You got Drew Holiday, you got Derek White, you got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, all 4 guys who are good to elite two-way players. You now have to deal with them on both ends of the court. So a game like this, we're going to have to pull out a hack trick to deal with that. Guys are going to have to play above their capabilities. Jared Jones Jr. is going to have to play above his capability. Amir Coffey is going to have to play above his capabilities. Visca Zubac is going to have dominate what his matchup is. And then James Harden, and if Norman Powell plays tonight, are going to have to be able to score and assist the rock. If Norman Powell does not play tonight, Chris Dunn's going to be able to, hit his shot. So it's going to be a group effort tonight. It's going to take a lot of firepower. It's going to take a lot of, guys being locked in. We got the good thing about it, we did get our rest yesterday, so we are not going to have to worry about, we're going to be too tired. They just got to come in there with a certain level of focus and determination, and I think we'll be able to prevail. What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull Up Show. I'm your host, Mr. BJ Matthews, aka B Jizzle. Before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. All of our YouTube videos. Hit that Cash App as y'all come in here. Hit the $ Slicker Rick 1991 Son. Cash App $ Slicker Rick 1991 Son. Or you can go to our Venmo at BJ/MATHEWS/1 as our Venmo. If you guys do have Cash App or Venmo, make sure you guys go ahead and donate to the super stickers and super comments that are available right below in the right hand corner. All you got to do is hit that bottom $ symbol that says thanks, and you guys can donate that way to the Pull Up Basketball Podcast, where you'll get your Clipper news on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis. Let's get it popping. All right. So what y'all just heard was me speaking yesterday before the game, the pregame analysis for Boston that we had. And I'm going to talk about my comments, what I said. But I hope everybody's doing well. This is actually going to be a pre-recorded video. I'll be going live tomorrow. It's tomorrow morning. So we will go ahead and get that going. But I have to, set aside some time, for pre-recorded and stuff like that. So this is definitely going to be a pre-recorded video. Now, let's talk about what happened yesterday between the Boston Celtics and the Los Angeles Clippers, as the Clippers took an L, snapping their 5-game winning streak, losing to the Boston Celtics that are the, defending champions. And they are arguably the best team in the NBA right now. I think the only team that has more wins and less losses is the Cleveland Cavaliers. And, it was a great test for us, playing at Boston, that atmosphere. I mean, you can't really ask for anything else when you ask for experience. You ask for a certain level of competition. I mean, you're going to get it up there in Boston. So let's talk about it, man. 94-126. We lose by 32 points in Boston. We got to talk about what happened and why, the game went the way it did. And we're going to, talk about what we could have done even better, or, at least worked on a little bit more. And then we're going to get right to it. Now, team stats. We go into the team stats real quick. 51 to 43% for goes to Boston. 43% to 26 goes to Boston. 70% to 69% the free throw line goes to Boston. Excuse me. 47 rebounds to 44 rebounds for us go to Boston. 33 to 18 assists goes to Boston. For assists, steals, 10 to 8 goes to Boston. Blocks, 3 to 11 goes to Boston. Total turnovers, 14 to 11 goes to Boston. They had less turnovers than we did. And the last stat, largest lead, 3 to 32 goes to Boston. So all the stats that I read out went to Boston. So there's really nothing to really break down. At the end of the day, this is something that I was, pretty much predicting, yesterday. Like, I said to myself, okay, well, we just beat Philadelphia. It was a team that, didn't have their 2 best players, and they beat them in Philadelphia. So I said, okay, coming in with that mindset, knowing that Philadelphia doesn't have the size, which I predicted on my man Andre 76's show, DFJ Hoops, going to follow my man DFJ Hoops on his podcast as well. Predicting what I did on the show yesterday, it doesn't really surprise me what happened. We beat a Philadelphia team, came out and did what we were supposed to do in Philly. We actually got our guys rest, and we got opportunity to, get a fresh team going into Boston. But I still said to myself, okay, Boston is a different team. They're the world championships, but their personnel, they are able to basically do what they want to do against our team, especially without Kawhi Leonard on the court. Norman Powell didn't play yesterday as well. And to make matters worse, Kristaps Porzingis played yesterday. Now, the only thing I said that we're going to have in our favor is that Boston had a back-to-back as well, and they went to the depth, to the brink, to the by the Minnesota Timberwolves just the day before. So I said that we could possibly make this game interesting, and there were certain parts of the game that we did cut the lead down, but at the end of the day, like in basketball, man, when you're just beating a team so badly, and you kind of see how the game's going to go, you're going to take your foot out, on certain times of the game. And that was really the third quarter. The only time that we really had a, game where we even cut the lead down, um, was probably around like the end of the third quarter when we started putting in the young guys again. This game really reminded me of the games in Houston, where we're losing by, a certain level of points, and we just couldn't, break through. As y'all come in and hit that like button, we decided to, go with the young guys like Jordan Miller, like Kobe Brown. Bones Highland came in towards the end of the game as well. It was just an opportunity for the young guys to get more experience. But it doesn't surprise me that the Celtics were able to prevail. It did surprise me how bad we, lost. But like I said in the video, if we get down by 15, 20 points, we're not coming back. See, for us, we're not a team that, and I can see this right now, we're not a team that's going to come back from big leads, because we don't have the offense, especially against a team like Boston. I'm gonna really kind of explain why it went the way it did. Teams that are good offensively and defensively, they make it harder against those teams, because yes, we're a very good defensive team, a top defensive team. We don't have the offense to match it, especially with our two best scorers not playing, Kawhi and Norman Powell. So it didn't surprise me. So let me go into like the actual, player stats as well, to kind of show y'all what happened, within the players, because, we're going to break this down too. So every single guy outside of James Harden played 30 minutes, played less than 30 minutes, right? You look at the player stats right there. The bright spot was really Ivica Zubac with 11 for 14 from the field, 10 rebounds, and 23 points. So he had to be fed early. That was my next prediction, that Ivica Zubac had to eat. That was the only real matchup that I had that really we could have really exploited. Now, Kristaps Porzingis did come back last night, but it really didn't matter with Ivica Zubac, the way he's playing and the girth and size that he had. He was able to go into Kristaps Porzingis' chest and make an impact. But on the other side, KP, what he does against a center like Zubac is he makes you have to come out on the 3-point perimeter, where Zubac is not going to really like to do much. Now, he has improved. His defense is, on the ball, lateral quick. He has improved, but he's still 7 foot and 240 pounds. He's a traditional big. He's not trying to go out there and guard. So when you got a KP who's, trying to, actually spread you out, that's going to be somewhat of a challenge. And that's what KP did at the beginning of the game. He basically said the first 3 shots Kristaps Porzingis took, and he was daring Ivica Zubac to come outside and play defense. Now, he made only one of those 3 shots, or I think 1 out of 4 of those threes, but the fact that he kept shooting them, he was daring Zubac to come out and guard him. Now, if he had made those shots, we would have had even a bigger problem. But I digress from that. Ivica Zubac was pretty much the only bright spot yesterday. Only the real matchup that we had that really dominated. He's averaging 15 points, 12 rebounds off of 60% shooting right now. Now, he's been efficient. We talked about him getting more touches. And I don't know. I just think it's just going to really matter about the game, the matchup, and, really how the defense guards. Like, if Zubac is clearly the number one option, like the best fit, then you're going to see more shot attempts from him. But it's also going to depend how aggressive Zubac wants the basketball. Like the games against OKC, when we went to OKC, he wasn't really being as aggressive with the basketball. The game against Houston, he wasn't being aggressive with the basketball as far as calling for it. So he's going to have to be able to not only just, be getting more touches, but he's going to have to be more aggressive getting the basketball. So that's one instance. Zubac was our best, pretty much our most consistent player yesterday. James Harden, 8 for 17 from the field, had 9 assists, 19 points, 3 for 8 from the 3-point line. So coming out the game, they had Jaylen Brown on James Harden. And really, James Harden really just, kind of was doing like he's playing like average, but most of his stats were not really something that you can look at and say, well, he was changing the dynamic of the game. I think he knew coming into the game, and I'm not trying to, put it as if this is just a definite, but he was just kind of feeling like he was kind of just like getting out there, just, playing, just hooping. You didn't really see no level of intensity. It's just basically, okay, I'm gonna get my, regular 18, around 8, 9, 10 assists. You know what I'm saying? Get my rebounds here and there. And, try to be efficient as I can. Now, I will give him, he shot the ball better. He shot 8 for 17 from the field. Right? So, with James Harden, he didn't really have much of an impact. Nobody really had much of an impact yesterday as far as, the Clippers. I mean, look, you got Derrick Jones Jr. had 11 points. Amir Coffey had 4. Chris Dunn had 2 points. Nobody really made much of an impact. Derrick Jones Jr. really had his hands full dealing with Jason Tatum. So a lot of his energy was exploding on defense. So that's the thing with two-way players. If you're a two-way, this is why I say two-way players make a huge. There's only a certain level of two-way players in the league, and I'm talking about a two-way player is able to give you somewhere between a good two-way player can give you 15 to 20 points while being able to be assigned to his defensive matchup and say, go guard him. That's a good two-way player. An elite two-way player can give you somewhere between 20 and 25 points, maybe a little bit more, while saying, okay, go guard your man as well. I'm assigning you to guard this player as well. Two-way players are the most hardest thing to be in the NBA and basketball. And I don't think people give that enough credit. See, Derrick Jones Jr. is a good defensive player. But if you ask him to say, okay, I want you to give me 15 points while locking up he can't do that. He's a one-way defensive lob threat. His offense comes in through the game with James Harden, and you have to set him up. So when you face a team like Boston and you have to be asked to deal with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and be able to get your 15, 20 points, that's something that you can't do. But you know what Boston has? They have 4, and I said this yesterday too. They have 4 good to elite defensive two-way players. You got Jason Tatum, you got Jrue Holiday, Derek White, and Jaylen Brown, and even Kristaps Porzingis. Now he's not quote unquote the lateral defender on the perimeter, but he's a shot blocker. So that's essentially their whole starting lineup is filled with good to elite two-way players. Jason Tatum can give you 20, 25 points, and you can say go and guard your man. He can at least, give you an effortable job. Kristaps Porzingis, you can give him like 15 to 20 points. He said go and defend the rim. He can do that. Jrue Holiday, somewhere between 12 and 15 points, and go guard your man. Jrue Holiday's locking up. Derek White, good defensive player and a good offensive player. 12 to 15 points. Jrue Holiday and Derek White are the same person for the most part. One guy, Derek White's a little bit better offensively. The other guy, Jrue Holiday's better a little bit defensively, and they both can do both things. And then you got Jaylen Brown, who's ultimately the best two-way player on that team, who's just elite, can give you 20 to 25 points per game and ask to defend. And he did that on James Harden yesterday. So that's a tough pill to overcome to deal with when you have to defend Boston. See, there's a few things you need to beat a team like the Boston Celtics. And I'm not going to even get into their numbers. I'm just going to talk to y'all like, real straight. Because this is going to be the team. If we want to win a championship, it's going to take a few things to beat a team like Boston if we have to face them. Boston or any team, the only way you really beat in Boston, number one, you got to have, first of all, a certain level of experience, because they have not only have the players, they have the experience and continuity. This team has been together since 2000, I think, and specifically 2022. If you take out Jrue Holiday, last year they won a championship for the first time. So they went through a lot of adversity, and they all got their contracts. They all got their extensions. They're all in a good space. See, that goes into, again, your environment. If you're getting paid and you're getting, everybody's on the court, everybody's healthy, everybody's like, it's just really like a honeymoon phase over there in Boston. That's why they're playing so continuity. They're so together. They've been through all the battle wounds. They've been through all the wars together. They won a championship. They got their pay. They got, everybody. It seemed like an unselfish. Like they're building a dynasty over there. So you can't anybody just can't come in there and just say, oh, we're going to take this team Boston. You're going to have a few special things to beat them. You're going to have continuity. You're going to have some experienced players as far as your stars. You're going to have elite good to elite two-way players to beat Boston. Now, what do I say about our team? We have an elite two-way player in Kawhi Leonard, and we have a good two-way player in Amir Coffey. But even Amir Coffey, when you talk about that, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are obviously better than Amir Coffey, and it's not even a question, not even a conversation. So that's why I said for somebody's going to have to come along with Kawhi Leonard to be able to handle that. Because if you're asking Kawhi Leonard to take on Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum by himself, could he do it? We don't know, because we ain't seen Kawhi Leonard as of late. Last year, when we saw Kawhi Leonard versus the Celtics, he dominated, but he also had Paul George beside him. See, that was going to be the duo between those two. It's going to be Kawhi and PG versus Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Well, now that you have taken one of those two-way players out the equation, those elite two-way players, now you're going to have to look at, okay, so who's going to match up with that duo? Is it going to be him and Amir Coffey? That's a lot to ask. I love Amir Coffey, but that's a lot to ask for him to match with Kawhi Leonard to be able to deal with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. James Harden is now, quote unquote, the second option on this team, which I don't, and I'm going to be upfront with y'all. When Kawhi Leonard comes back and James Harden is there, you guys got to remember, Kawhi Leonard has a system that he plays in, and James Harden has a system that he plays in. We're seeing James Harden being able to, use his system and do pretty much what he needs to do with the basketball, assist and score when he wants to score. But we've also seen the decline in his game just basically due to age, wear and tear, and certain players not playing. So when you have Kawhi and James Harden on the court together, one of them are going to have to defer. Now, the problem is that if you have asked for James Harden to defer and give it to Kawhi, you're taking away James Harden, what he does great, which is, facilitate and score the ball. A game, if you ask Kawhi to defer to make others more comfortable, then you're probably going to decrease his 30 points in a playoff series, and you're going to probably decrease his defense. You can't afford to, decrease Kawhi against no Boston team. So what does that mean? That means James Harden is going to be, quote unquote, what y'all call a role player against a team like Boston, who's good offensively and defensively. You need two-way players to beat a team like Boston. I am not kidding. You're not going to beat. You're not beating a Boston team with multiple one-way players and only one or two great defensive two-way players. Let's look at one thing before I let y'all go. All right, so I want to show y'all the offensive and defensive rating between the Clippers and the Celtics. Now, we got to make sure we put things in context. One team in the Clippers have been missing their best player, Kawhi Leonard. The other team in Boston has pretty much, for the most part, had their best players in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Now, Jaylen Brown has missed a few games, but other than that, they've been pretty much presumably healthy. Now, if you look at the defensive rating, Boston and the Clippers right now in the 5th on defensive rating. The Boston Celtics are at 15. So that's a 10-spot difference between the two. You got one team who's considered elite defensively, and you got another team that's in the middle of the pack, which is the Boston Celtics. So that's their defensive rating. Now, that's their defensive rating. If you go to the offensive rating, Boston is top 4 in offensive rating right now. They're top 4. They're top 4 in ball. Y'all can see right there, the number 4 seed in the offensive rating. They're top in 3-pointers made. They're top 4 in scoring as well. So offensively, they're elite. Now, if you scroll down all the way where we go, We're all the way at number 27. So we're literally the fourth worst team offensively in the NBA. The fourth. Now, of course, that's where the whole thing with Kawhi Leonard, that's why it's so important for him to be on the squad and be healthy. Because against a team like Boston, who's elite offensively and middle of the pack defensively, you can't beat a team like that and come in saying we're going to be a great defensive team and be a poor offensive team and say we're going to win. Because they have the personnel to be able to not have anybody taken off the basketball court. That's why I said yesterday, without Kawhi Leonard against Boston, there's no way in hell we're beating them. But even with Kawhi Leonard on the court, it's going to take somebody else to come with him that's going to be able to have to play both ways of the ball, at least good. Now, is that Norman Powell? Is that Amir Coffey? That's the only two players I could see who can be on that level. Norman Powell has been a great addition as far as him, carrying this team. He's been leading the team in scoring with 23 points per game, right? He has playoff experience. He's played with Kawhi before in the past. He's battle tested. So is he going to be the guy to do it defensively and offensively? Can he come with Kawhi Leonard against Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown? My honest answer is no. I don't think Norman Powell is on that level. So what does that mean? That means to beat a team like this, we're going to have to come in with a level of focus defensively, even more than we are now. And like I said before, guys want to play a little bit above what their capabilities are. Bench players as well. Because the Celtics bench is not all that. They got a couple guys. Peyton Pritchard is a good bench rotation piece. Xavier Tillman and Sam Hauser. They're also been with them since last year, but they're not filled with a lot of bench depth. I guess Al Horford is on the bench if KP's starting. So you got about two guys who are, really like that on defense on the bench. But other than that, they're not really deep defensively. But like I said, man, the Boston Celtics are there for a reason. I didn't have any expectations for us winning that game yesterday. But we got the Wizards coming up on Wednesday. That's a game we should win. I'm pretty sure that we will win. I think a lot of guys are going to get their playing time. And, I think they're going to, beat the, Wizards pretty good on Wednesday. If they don't come out there and come out, beating them bad or, doing what they need to do, then that's something that needs to be called out. But other than that, I think the Clippers are in good shape. Right now, let me go and check something real quick. Clippers right now are in the 6th seed. We are 11-8 right now. So the playoff start today, we will be in the playoffs. We'll be playing the Houston Rockets right now if we were in the playoffs. So and also I want to say this last thing before I get off. A lot of this stuff's going to come down to matchups. When you look at the Western Conference and how we match up certain teams, and I'm talking about with Kawhi Leonard on the court, there's really, if we faced so far these teams, the Oklahoma City Thunder we faced that we lost twice, the Golden State Warriors we lost or we beat them twice, Houston Rockets we lost twice too. Those are the top 3 teams in the Western Conference right now as we speak. The Phoenix Suns were 1 point the top team until KD got hurt. We lost to them 2 times. Denver Nuggets, we beat them once. So those are all the teams that we've faced so far. We haven't faced the Lakers. We haven't faced Memphis. We ain't faced Dallas. We beat the Spurs, which is, down there at the bottom. You got Minnesota, who's at, 500. You got the Sacramento Kings, who's 8-10. We beat them. Portland, we lost to them. Utah, we beat them. So, we got a lot of basketball to play. The Pelicans are just whatever. But that's what I want to say, man. Until next time, pull up a seat, pull up a chair, pull it out. Peace. Out of here like